She didn't just show up, she stormed in like the headline she desperately needed. Because this wasn't about a gala, it wasn't about empowerment, and it definitely wasn't about the cause. This was about timing, this was about panic, and this was about a woman who needed cameras more than the cameras needed her.
Told the world Meghan Markle is a last-minute addition. She was not invited.
Emma Grady filmed herself switching name tags at her own gala. Let that sink in. She recorded it, posted it, made sure the world saw it. Not quietly adjusting a seating mishap. No, she exposed it. She showed the place cards being rearranged at the very last minute, physically making room for someone who was not originally on the list. And the unspoken message echoed louder than any microphone could capture. She wasn't supposed to be there. Because this wasn't the Met Gala. This wasn't the Oscars. Most Americans had never even heard of the 15% Pledge Gala until Meghan Markle miraculously appeared in a pink dress demanding attention. For 6 years, that organization operated quietly, supporting Black-owned businesses without Hollywood chaos attached to it. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, Meghan Markle arrives. Uninvited? Last-minute invite? Emergency edition? Whatever version you prefer, the place cards don't lie. Emma wanted us to see it. And here's the question no one in mainstream media wants to ask. Why would the founder of a Black empowerment organization publicly expose a duchess as a gatecrasher? Because someone needed a distraction. And that distraction needed to be loud, pink, and impossible to ignore.
Literally begging to be allowed into a D-list event because, let's face it, guys, there were no A-listers. And then she wears that ridiculous dress.
The timing was surgical. Meghan's name had just surfaced in newly released Epstein documents. Not a pass and whisper, a documented mention. And then there's that yacht photograph. August 2016. Meghan Markle standing beside Karina Shaliak, one of Jeffrey Epstein's known associates, just weeks before she claimed she met Harry in Botswana. Weeks. The royal family was already under fire over Epstein-related questions surrounding Prince Andrew. Pressure building, documents surfacing, and suddenly Meghan secures a last-minute appearance at an event guaranteed to dominate entertainment coverage. Coincidence? Or crisis management? Because overnight, headlines shifted. No more yacht timelines. No more uncomfortable document references. Just pink fabric and red carpet angles. And that pink dress? Oh, that dress told a story of its own. It wasn't custom. It wasn't tailored. It wasn't fitted. It was borrowed. Look closely at the hem. Folded, not cut. Creased fabric pooling at her feet. Uneven gathering. Construction that screamed, "We did not plan for this." Custom gowns take weeks. Measurements, fittings, adjustments, precision. This looked pulled from a garment bag in a moving car. The horizontal cut across her torso was catastrophic. Fashion 101. Never place a horizontal line across a short trunk. It shortens, it widens, it exaggerates. And yet there it was, slicing her proportions in half like an afterthought. Compare it to the beige inverted cut gown she wore during King Charles's garden party years ago. That dress elongated her frame. That dress understood her body. This one exposed it. The sweetheart neckline amplified everything. Wide shoulders, minimal waist definition, flat chest. It created volume where none was needed and erased definition where it was desperately required. Wrinkles told their own tale. Custom gowns are steamed within inches of their lives. This looked yanked from storage. And the sandals. Those sandals, open-toed with a formal gown, toes extending beyond the shoe, literally touching the ground with each step. Guests noticed. They whispered. Social media zoomed in within hours. Why does she keep doing this? Red carpet stylists know better. Thousands of dollars in fabric undermined by beach wedding footwear. And the folded hem? It drew the eye downward. Low-angle shots captured everything. The bunching, the exposed feet, the misalignment, every single step pulling the dress out of shape. Either she doesn't have a stylist, or she doesn't listen. Neither possibility is flattering, but the dress wasn't even the most revealing part of the night. The body language was. Because when Meghan tried to reposition Emma Grade on that carpet, physically guiding her for better angles, Emma pulled away. Subtle, quick, but unmistakable. This was Emma's event, her organization, her spotlight, and she was not about to be stage managed by a last-minute addition. What played out wasn't friendship, it was competition. Two women who believe they control the room, neither willing to defer. Meghan reaching, Emma reclaiming space. And then came the moment that sealed the narrative. An assistant stepped forward to adjust the ill-fitting gown, just doing her job, fixing bunched fabric before photographers immortalized it. Meghan's jaw tightened. Her hand dropped in a gesture that translated without subtitles, "Don't." The assistant stepped back, hurt, confused, dismissed, on camera. If this is the reaction in front of flashing lights, what happens behind closed doors? Valentine Lowe's book Courtiers documented bullying allegations during her royal tenure. Staff described explosive reactions, impossible demands, a revolving door of employees. Archewell hasn't exactly had long-term staff retention either, patterns speak. And then the photographers. Meghan. Over here, not Duchess, not Your Royal Highness, just Meghan. She had reportedly instructed them to use her title. They ignored it. Because in Los Angeles, you are a celebrity, not sovereign. The irony was breathtaking. Attending an event celebrating Black empowerment, insisting on a British aristocratic title rooted in colonial hierarchy. She wants both narratives, rebel against the institution, cling to its power, and without that title, she is Rachel Meghan Markle, former cable actress. Career peak pre-marriage. The title is the brand is the relevance. Strip it away, and what remains? The guest book signature was deliberate. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Calligraphy-level precision, because without it, the illusion weakens. And illusions right now are everything. 2 days before the gala, there was a family-focused event. Children welcome. Community-centered. Emma attended with her kids. Other supporters brought theirs. Meghan did not bring Archie or Lilibet, the woman who built interviews around her biracial identity, who accused the royal family of racism on global television, couldn't introduce her children to the Black community she claims to champion. Tina Knowles was reportedly displeased. The family event had no red carpet, no flashbulbs, no coverage, but the gala did. And suddenly, she appeared. Timing is everything, especially when documents are circulating, especially when yacht photos resurface, especially when questions begin forming. The gala coverage was wall-to-wall, fashion breakdowns, body language analyses, assistant snubs. No major outlet asked about the Epstein mention. No interviewer raised the yacht photograph. Silence, strategic, convenient. More documents are scheduled for release, more names expected. Pressure building. Meanwhile, Harry testifies in London, claiming media made his wife's life miserable. Somber tone. Grave expression. Days later, Meghan glides down a green carpet, smiling like misery never visited her zip code. The contrast was staggering. The gala accomplished its mission. Distraction successful. For now. But the documents aren't going anywhere. The photograph isn't going anywhere. The timeline isn't going anywhere. And at some point, someone will ask the question that pink fabric can't smother. She gatecrashed, she borrowed, she snapped, she demanded, and she redirected the spotlight exactly when she needed it most. For now, it worked. But this story? This story is far from finished. And here's where the story stops being about a dress and starts being about survival. Because when you strip away the pink fabric, the borrowed sandals, the red carpet positioning, what you're left with is a pattern. A pattern of appearing exactly when headlines need rewriting. A pattern of inserting herself into rooms that guarantee cameras. A pattern of distraction so precise it feels rehearsed. Let's go back to that yacht. August 2016. The photograph isn't blurry. It isn't speculative. It exists. Meghan Markle standing beside Karina Shaliak, a woman closely tied to Jeffrey Epstein during the years his network operated at full force. The image was taken weeks before Meghan says she met Prince Harry in Botswana. Weeks. Now, by itself, that photo proves nothing illegal. But optics matter, timelines matter, associations matter. Especially when newly unsealed Epstein documents begin circulating and her name quietly appears inside communications linked to that orbit. The mainstream press glossed over it. Minimal coverage, no primetime panels, no investigative deep dives. But the same weekend those documents made noise, Meghan suddenly appears at a gala no one was discussing prior to her arrival. The distraction was flawless. Entertainment outlets flooded timelines with pink dress commentary, fashion breakdowns, body language experts, footwear debates, assistant drama, anything but yachts, anything but documents, anything but timelines. And here's what makes it even more fascinating. Emma Grede, the woman adjusting place cards, was recently appointed an ambassador for the King's Trust, King Charles Charitable Foundation. The same monarch whose son and daughter-in-law publicly severed ties with the institution. The same monarchy Harry criticizes in interviews. The same palace Harry blames for media chaos. Yet here's Meghan aligning herself with someone now officially connected to that royal network again. Is it reconciliation? Is it strategy? Is it leverage? Hollywood relationships are rarely accidental. Everything is transactional. Visibility is currency. And Meghan understands currency better than most. Emma needed cameras. Meghan needed credibility. Each borrowed the other. But there was no warmth between them. Watch the footage again. Their smiles never fully reach their eyes. Emma's posture stiffens when Meghan touches her. Meghan subtly angles her body to dominate frames. This wasn't camaraderie, it was calculation. Two women playing chess on a green carpet. And then there's Harry, testifying in London, claiming relentless press cruelty, painting a portrait of his wife as hunted, persecuted, emotionally battered. Yet she glowed on that carpet, laughing, striking poses, commanding lenses. The contradiction was loud, because someone crushed by media trauma doesn't voluntarily step into flashbulb storms days later, unless the attention is necessary, unless silence is more dangerous, unless unanswered questions are looming. And what about Archwell, the foundation built on the promise of equity and change? 5 years in California, endless rhetoric about racial justice, yet documented staffing shows overwhelmingly white leadership. Diversity preached, not practiced. Archie and Lilibet remain largely unseen, shielded, which on its own is understandable, but when you position yourself as a cultural bridge, a champion for Black voices, yet bypass family-focused community events that align perfectly with that message, it becomes noticeable, especially when you materialize only for the segment that guarantees press. And Tina Knowles, Bianca's mother, a respected matriarch in Black culture, honored at the gala, reportedly displeased that Meghan skipped the family-centered gathering, because authenticity is currency in that community, and last-minute red carpet energy doesn't always translate as authenticity. Now zoom out. The royal family is facing renewed Epstein scrutiny. Prince Andrew's name continues to resurface in damaging contexts. More files scheduled for release. Speculation growing about who else might be referenced. Pressure is rising. And Meghan, whose name has now appeared within those same broader document waves, positions herself front and center in a completely different narrative cycle. Brilliant if intentional, because it reframes the conversation. Instead of why was she photographed with Karina Shuliak weeks before meeting Harry, the public asks, why did her hem look folded? Instead of what does her name reference in those communications mean? The discourse becomes, why did photographers call her Meghan instead of Duchess? It's masterful narrative redirection. And here's the thing about redirection. It only works temporarily, because documents don't disappear, photographs don't dissolve, timelines don't edit themselves. The yacht image will continue circulating, the document mentions will remain archived, and eventually someone with access will ask the direct question, what was your connection? Not accusatory, not speculative, just direct. And direct questions are far more dangerous than gossip. The press has been unusually gentle. Interviews this year have focused on projects, products, rebrands, not past associations, not yacht summers, not social circles in 2016 Los Angeles when she was aggressively networking among powerful elites. That period of her life remains curiously under-examined, but patterns tell stories. The Montecito move, the Spotify collapse, the Netflix pivots, the rebranding of lifestyle ventures. Each pivot timed around crisis or declining public interest. And now this gala, a D-list event transformed into national conversation because she walked through its doors. Emma Grede may have exposed the last-minute name switch, but she also handed Meghan exactly what she needed: cameras, headlines, relevance. For 72 hours, the internet obsessed over Pink. Meanwhile, Epstein document threads faded down feeds. Search interest dipped, attention scattered, mission accomplished. But here's the part no one says out loud. Distractions require maintenance. You can't distract forever. Eventually, the original question resurfaces, and each time you redirect, you train observers to notice the pattern. The assistant she snapped at? That moment lingered longer than the dress critique, because authenticity leaks through micro-expressions. And if that was her public reaction to minor wardrobe interference, critics naturally wonder what private reactions look like. Valentine Lowe's bullying allegations were never fully neutralized. They were managed, softened, but never erased. Patterns echo, body language repeats. Staff turnover whispers louder than official statements. And then there's the title obsession. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Signed deliberately, insisted upon, repeated, because without it, the hierarchy collapses. In America, titles are novelty, not authority. Photographers shouting Meghan stripped the mystique. It reminded everyone she is operating in Hollywood, not Windsor. And Hollywood does not bow. It measures relevance in clicks. And clicks are volatile. The 15% pledge gala will fade from headlines. The pink dress will be archived. But the documents are scheduled. More releases coming. More names potentially surfacing. The Epstein story is not finished. It's expanding. And if further references emerge, if timelines tighten, if associations clarify, no borrowed gown will muffle that sound. For now, she succeeded. She commandeered coverage. She reframed discourse. She turned a quiet community event into national spectacle. But distraction is a short-term strategy. Accountability is long-term gravity. And gravity always wins. Because at the center of this entire saga sits one unresolved image: a yacht. August 2016. A network. A timeline. And a question that hasn't been answered. Not yet. But sooner or later, it will be asked. And when it is, no pink dress will be bright enough to blind the room. Enough to blind the room. Enough to blind the room. Enough to blind the room.